Revenge films.
Back then, I just got married to my girlfriend who I'd been dating since college. It wasn't a shotgun marriage or anything, everything was going just as planned. I have an older sister who was about to move out of town because of her husband's job, and she stopped by to say farewell. I was never on great terms with her, so I didn't expect her to come all the way over to say goodbye, but when she showed up with her children, I was shocked. I knew she had 2 children, but it was obvious that the older girl and younger boy were being treated very differently. The girl was wearing torn-up clothes like she hadn't changed in a while, and the boy was wearing brand new clothes. What the hell? It looks like she's completely neglecting her daughter. I remember my sister telling me that my nephew was smart and top of his class in preschool, but now that I think of it, I'd never heard much about my niece. I was concerned and wanted to discuss this somewhere that the kids wouldn't hear us, but when I wasn't looking for a moment, they left my niece behind and left. I called my sister right away, but she hung up on me after telling me that they were going to take my nephew to a restaurant and my niece was in the way. I couldn't just ignore my niece, so I explained the situation to my wife when she got back from work, and we decided to let her spend the night. She smelled terrible, so we first decided to give her a bath.
Jill, right? Let's go take a bath together.
Okay.
I prepared dinner while my wife and Jill took a bath, but my wife came back crying.
That's just so terrible.
Huh? My wife pointed her finger, so I went over and saw Jill, who had just gotten out of the bath. Jill was just skin and bones! When she came over, she was wearing clothes, so it was hard to tell, but Jill was in 1st grade already, but was so small and skinny for her age. She must have been malnourished. I can't believe this! My anger towards my sister was about to boil over.
All I did was wash her head and she was crying as she said thank you. How has she been treated at home? I can't believe this.
My wife started sobbing. We continued to be shocked though. I calmed my wife down and we started eating. As she ate, Jill said,
I never knew rice was so good. It's so soft and warm.
My wife and I just sat and listened in shock. My wife went over to Jill and held her tightly.
Yes, dear. Rice is yummy. You'll get to eat yummy rice every day, okay?
Jill was wearing one of my wife's t-shirts that smelled like fabric softener.
This smells so good.
She said. At night, we prepared a futon for her to sleep on.
I never knew futons were so soft.
She said. After Jill went to sleep, I talked with my wife and went to speak with my sister the next day. How the hell are you treating your daughter? How can you do that to her? I can't give her back to you knowing how terribly you're treating her.
Huh? Are you saying you want to keep her? Sure, I'll sell her to you for $10,000.
Are you kidding me? You just leave her at my house and now you're asking for money? Stop treating her like an object!
Fine, just give her back then. Not that anything is going to change, but fine.
Alright then. I'll get you your $10,000. My sister seemed pleased that she was about to make some money. I called my wife up right away and explained the situation. I stopped by the bank on my way home to prepare the money to give up to my sister the next day. During the day, my wife had taken Jill to the hospital to get a checkup.
Just as I thought. She was malnourished.
My wife had asked the doctor about many things. I handed her an envelope. I took this out of my savings. I was saving up to take you on a honeymoon, but... My wife looked surprised and handed me a thick envelope as well.
Here, I stopped by the bank on my way back home from the hospital too.
My wife looked surprised and handed me a thick envelope as well. I thought it was funny how we both did the same thing. But my sister asked for $10,000 and there was no way I was going to give her extra money. So I took my $10,000 and went over to my sister's place. Here, $10,000. This is for you to cut ties with Jill and for us to adopt her.
Sweet, $10,000. I thought she was useless, but she made some use of herself in the end.
I was disgusted at my sister and just walked away without saying anything. We immediately began the process of adopting Jill.
You'll be living with us from now on, okay? We're your new mom and dad.
I can call you Mom and Dad?
Yeah, of course. You're our daughter now, Jill. Jill started crying tears of joy. My wife started sobbing at the sight of Jill. Jill seemed happy with us. Maybe she was relieved that she never had to go back to that house again. My sister and her husband never bought Jill anything for school and neglected her horribly. Jill switched schools to the one in our neighborhood. With the money that my wife had, we prepared a room for Jill. My wife searched rigorously online and left with Jill to go shopping. Together, they completed a cute room for her.
Yay! This is so cute. Is this my room?
That's right, Jill. You can study here and play with your friends here.
Yay!
After that, thanks to my wife planning the meals, Jill gradually gained back her weight and recovered back to normal health. She studied in her room and sometimes invited her friends over to play. 5 years passed and we finally had a child of our own. My wife used to tell Jill.
You're going to be a big sister soon.
Jill seemed enthusiastic about it and began helping out with the chores. She treated her new sister very well and they grew up loving each other. They're like best friends now. When I first saw Jill, I was shocked and despised my sister. But I can confidently say now that the decision I made with my wife that day was the right one. And my sister said that Jill had no talents, but that was only because she never let her do anything. Jill wasn't great at studying, but she had an incredible talent as an artist. She would always get the first prize at any of the contests held at school, and she was famous for it. I never wanted to see my sister ever again, but I ran into her at my cousin's wedding the other day. The nephew that they were so proud of had lost his way and wasn't going to school anymore. And my brother-in-law was a cheater, and they're going through a divorce right now. My sister was wearing worn-out clothes and looked so old. I was laughing at her inside. After seeing how cute Jill had become and hearing all of the great rumors from our relatives, she came over and tried kissing up to her.
Hey, Jill.
But Jill ignored her.
Let's go take a picture with the bride, Mom.
My sister just froze in shock. She must have thought that she could redeem herself with Jill, but it was funny how horribly she failed. I was thinking about telling my sister how happy our family was, but after seeing Jill get her own revenge like that, I was satisfied.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.